All right, guys. Hey, thank you very much for joining me again. I really appreciate this. I'm having an absolute ball doing these videos and talking to you about this. I hope it's helping somebody out there. I just love doing this. Um, Going into no-till, so you're ready to go into no-till. You've already taken and you got yourself set up for success. You've addressed your planter issues. You've addressed soil conditions and all that, and you're ready to go. What's your first couple of years going to be like? Excuse me. And I don't know. I can't answer that for you other than it's just like conventional tillage is that so much of it is up to do with the weather and up to your management. If you're getting by with a conventional till program and you're not out scouting your fields, you just do your tillage in the spring, you plant, you spray one or two passes with some Roundup, and that's it for the year. Then, I don't know what to expect. On the no-till side, things are going to change a little bit. The timing of weeds are going to change a little bit. You're not going to have new species of weeds to your area. No-till doesn't create new species of weeds for you. It might bring some weeds that everybody else has no problem controlling, and stuff like that. So there's some little learning curves there. My first 2 years, I was just like, this is this is easy. I'm using the same program I did before. And then year 3 and now year 4 on some of that ground, all of a sudden we got a dandelion issue that we never had before. I'm like, okay, because spring tillage took care of dandelions. Well, now we don't have that anymore. So now, okay. And with this Roundup resistant weeds moving in, we really just changed the system. We're going to run the same program that all the neighbors are going to be running is a quality pre-emerge, a quality post-emerge, and then after that post-emerge on the soybean side, you're going to be scouting the fields, and as soon as you see anything out there, you're going to do a fall burn down of Roundup or something, because you can't let them stupid big weeds get going in the fall or late season. And so weeds, if you're diligent, you need to manage a farm nowadays. I think the days of just doing your spring work and being done are over with. You need to manage nowadays. You need to be scouting all the time and always out there looking for disease, insects, and weeds. If you're doing that, it doesn't matter what you're doing, conventional till or no-till, you're going to make a success out of it. So no-till, the weed thing, I don't get it. I go to these meetings and they tell you, well, and here's our presentation of herbicides, and then you stupid no-till people in the class, the one guy in the back corner that's a no-tiller. God, sorry you have to waste my time, but I have to mention it because you're here. Oh, weeds are just so different than no-till. I kind of beg to differ. They're really not. Again, just do your diligence of scouting. Talk to your local agronomist about a quality pre-emerge and post-emerge, and you're good to go. Seed selection, same thing. They're always like, well, here's our normal seed packet, but for you goofy strip till and no-till guys, now we have to come up with these new seeds for you. I don't really think so. It's not all that different. I'm using 90% of the same hybrids I would, or my neighbors are using in conventional till. 2014, no-till got blamed for rubbing a couple of the hybrids off my list. But back then I was still listening to other people because that was my first year of really doing no-till corn. And so when that corn had a hard time, looking back, it's because of where it was. Geographically, it was on a hillside. The water comes out the hill all summer long and just kept them roots underwater and lacking oxygen. How the neighbor saw it was, well, he no-tilled that field and now it failed. So no-till doesn't work here. And that's why I say investigate your failures, because it's not always because of the no-till. There's a great chance it's because of something else. Excuse me. But so I'm running the same hybrids. I have not found a hybrid that I can blame on no-till. I'm sure in some parts of the country, I bet I could go through the catalog, and on no-till, I bet I could go through my local seed person, and if we did a test plot on my farm of tilled soil versus no-tilled soil, we could find a couple hybrids that don't respond well to the no-till. They have they're lacking the early vigor and root germination strength and stuff like that. Yep, but why would you want them seeds in a conventional till either? I wouldn't. I want in a conventional till, I want the strongest germinating, the strongest early growth plant I can. Same in no-till, and so I don't think, I think that's overrated opinionation of non-no-tillers trying to come up with something. I don't know, but just relax. Start doing some test plots on your farm. That's the easiest thing you can do. Put in a no-till test plot. Maybe do it before you even switch a field over to no-till, is take your normal hybrid lineup plus whatever new hybrids they want to sell you that year and do a no-till test plot. Make sure that field's in shape, that you don't have all the issues with it, that it's good to go, ready for no-till, and do a hybrid test plot. You'll get some winners and losers like any other test plot, and then just take that data with a grain of salt and go from there. It's not that bad. Yield. What are you going to expect for yield? That's the tough one. Because there's many times people no-till one time and the yield wasn't what they thought it was going to be. For whatever reason, it didn't go as good as the very best tilled field on their farm. They never look at their tillage. I've never heard a conventional tiller say, I tried no-till once, and it tied that field. Tied or did just as poorly as some of my other conventional till ground. They never say that. It was, well, that field didn't do good at all. Well, okay, so you had 1,000 other acres or 200 other acres, whatever your acres is, of conventional till corn that you've conventional tilled your whole life, and you've got that program working great. You tried no-till one time, and the corn did okay or just a little bit less in yield. Did we ever crunch the numbers and the math to see where did that $60 an acre of tillage equipment and horsepower and all that come into play? You know, was it 20 bushel difference? And then what if we stick with it, you know, and kind of research why did it change in yield? I think your first couple years, I guess I have no opinion of what it could be. For me, my farm was waiting for no-till. I find it super funny because my dad tried no-till in the 70s, and he said it worked and it worked very well. Well, why didn't you stick with it? I don't know. It just worked that couple years, and then we just kind of went away from it. Well, maybe if we would have stuck with it, who knows where we'd be today. Pardon me. That nasty cold I just can't shake. But yeah, so that's the funny part. And even if it did work for them, you see them that they still move away from it. But it's just kind of a mind thing. I don't know what to expect for yield. Soybeans are very forgiving. For us, soybeans are more about the August and some of September, some of July. But for the most part, let's just say, general speaking, August. August will dictate yield tremendously more than population, hybrid selection, or tillage versus no-till. Plain and simple. If I want 50 bushel beans, I need a great August. If I want 30 bushel beans, I need a dry August. It's that simple. It does not matter whether I do till or no-till. The no-till, after a number of years, will start to drought-proof the soil. It will let the water get in the soil better. It will hold water better, and it will allow the plants to oxygenate better. And so at some point, you will start to see them benefits. But your first couple of years, the soil is going to try and get going. There's going to be changes happening. You might actually see a little dip to your yield. You're going to have to learn about the planter a little bit. And as your soil changes, you're going to start changing the setup of the planter a little bit. Add a little down pressure, change your closing wheels kind of thing like we talked about in the other video. But you'll get her dialed in. Here's what I can honestly say for sure. What can you expect in your first year doing no-till? God only knows. You probably have a better idea than I do. I would say your first year no-till is probably going to run very much like normal. I can't fathom why doing your first year of no-till, why it would be that drastically different. I don't know. There's extenuating circumstances. I'm not on your farm. I can't see everything like that, but I would say for your first couple of years and every year, just good scouting, do some test plotting, work with your agronomist. Not all agronomists are on board with no-till. You know, believe it or not, they want to help you do the best they can. They want to see you succeed. I believe they are genuine in that. But I believe a lot of them, especially up in this area, there's a lot of them that when you start talking no-till and strip-till, they kind of do the, yes, you've made it work on your farm, but, you know, don't get carried away. It just doesn't work up here in general. You get that kind of conversation going, and I can't think of, you know, how do you respond, or how do you really work super close with people like that? And so you're going to find a new circle of friends. That's the biggest thing I can tell you for sure, is you will stop talking to your conventional till neighbors like you normally do. You're going to start talking more about family and friends and life in general, or disease and insects, than you are on yield and operating costs and stuff like that. Because at some point, after several years that you're going to actually get this thing working, you're going to start to see that pretty much everything you were told is wrong. We don't need to get that soil hot and dry to plant into. We don't need all them things that we thought we used to. There's a huge mindset that needs to happen here to make this no-till work. And it's not very easy for a lot of people. I don't know how to explain it more than that. And so, guys, on that note, I'm going to leave you there, because otherwise I'll just kind of veer off here into space and just start rambling about who knows what. And I don't want that, because I want to keep you guys as subscribers. I want to keep you guys sharing my videos, and let's keep talking about these videos. And so I'm just going to end there before I lose you guys. Thank you very much for watching.